Welcome to Word Nerds. Visualize your vocabulary. Let's get this started with. Make a picture of it. It'll last longer. Alright, Word Nerds, visualize your vocabulary. I've spent too much time on this. Let's get this started with. First off, we have this word. It's called palliate. Now, palliate just basically means you're supposed to ease some sort of relieving pain without curing. You're supposed to ease something and to cover something off by conceal, by excusing. And of course, you remember this with alleviate. Or, if you're using the excuses definition, you use apologize for. And how do you remember this? Well, you remember it with bellyache. You double over with the pain of a stomach ulcer. You drink a bottle of ulcer relief to soothe your bellyache. However, this will provide only temporary relief of symptoms. It will take stronger medicine and a reduction in your stress levels for an actual cure. Alright, next up, we have tacit. Now, tacit just basically means something that's understood without actually anything being said. It's like body language. This, all hands open, is the tacit for, hey, show me the ball, I'll catch it. Not definition. Of course, the synonym to this is assumed. And remember this with, hey, a little boy used this tacit of doing this gesture. And of course, with that, the other boy got a ball and threw it at the other guy. Because that's the tacit, the universal tacit for, give me the ball. Alright, next up, we have callow. Now, callow just basically means young, immature, and inexperienced. So this guy decides to go ahead. Oh, by the way, you remember that with gullible or guiseless, actually, guileless. Now, Grandpa has fun with his grandkids. He tells him that Grandma put some jelly up there. If you guys can go ahead and grab it, I'll give you guys each $100. And they go ahead and try to go and get the jello. However, they realize he's fooling them and that they were just being very callow. Our next word is venal. Venal just basically means capable of being corrupted, especially in return for a bribe. Like money, 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 money. Yeah, that kind of thing. Well, of course, here we have some venals, we have some money, and of course, this owl is very venal. You remember it with green owl, because this owl is green with money. His feathers are all green because of all the paper stacks of money he actually has, wads and wads of it. And he goes ahead and accepts all those bribes, and do you know what his net worth is? $2.5 million of net worth. All from bribery, except only he and the bribers know about it. I wonder how long he's been doing this. If he's bribed on a regular basis, well, he's gonna get rich quick. Next up, we have levity. Now, levity just basically means a lack of appropriate seriousness or manner, or eagerness, or earnestness. This is the Joker, and he does not have any levity at all. Of course, the synonym to this is absurdity. Alright, absurdity. Of course, it actually comes from Latin's levitas, which means lightness and frivolity. Uncle Joe awkwardly tried to provide some levity at the funeral by cracking jokes about corpses. Wow, that's so immature. And of course, you remember this word with levitate. A joker levitates about an open casket at a funeral service and flippantly is levity about the situation. He's levitating and he cracks out so bad jokes like, why do they have 5 fences around the graveyard? Everyone is dying to get in. Hey, yeah, that's just so inappropriate for this situation. Next up, we have genre. Genre just basically means a type of class or category of art or music. And with that, we have a few other things to actually talk about here too, like category of art, music, literature, film, etc. And the synonym to this is classification, or school, species, or style. A vocabulary book fits in the genre of a reference in language. And you remember this word with John Rock. Hey, Michelangelo finished his statue of David. I mean, look, this is literally the statue of David, which was supposed to be looked up in the top of the Sistine Chapel. And next, he decides to begin a new category of stonework called John Rock. He starts with a block of marble and chisels away until it is shaped like a toilet. Get it? John Rock? I don't get it. Okay, I get the rock part, but John... Oh! Alright, next up, we have belittle. Now, of course, this is something that no one wants to do, unless you're the person who's actually belittling to someone. It means to make someone look unimportant or worthless. And remember this, and of course, the synonym to this is deprecate, or diminish, or disparage. Now, you remember this word with belittle. I mean, look. For some reason, a bee who is smaller than everyone else, including his own parents for some reason, is being so much belittling, because everyone else is belittling him because he creates so little honey, while everyone else, like this guy, creates this much of honey. I mean, look at this guy, he creates like a little tin can of it. This belittling makes him feel unimportant and very worthless. Alright, next up, we have profound. Now, profound here just basically means you having a deep insight about something. You have like a revelation about something, an insight or understanding, a deeper meaning, like philosophy. People think philosophy or psychology, take your pick. And the synonym to this is enlightened. And then, of course, next thing that happens is that you remember this word with the pro, that found. Now, a 10-foot tall professional basketball player actually quits the team and leaves it literally all behind to search for the literal purpose of life. You have to picture him a year later on the mountain top, sitting next to a guru, and the pro found with deep wisdom and insight at the feet of that guru. Next up, we have usurp. Now, usurp just basically means to seize or hold a position that is very beneficial towards you. You have to do it with power or force, though. I'm the king of the mountain. Now, this guy is being usurped by using used syrup. Get it? Usurp? That's how you remember it. To glue down all his opponents so that they'll be stuck on the floor, and he'll be, I'm the king of the mountain, and there's nothing you can do except lick all this maple syrup up and then rebel against you, which will take a while. Until then, I'll have my dominance over the world. And then, once you fall down, we'll gain control of all that dominance. Aha, you guys don't even know how to create a tea party. Who organized it right now? Me. No, it was us. Oh. Next up, we have accolade. Now, accolade let me just respell this real quick. Accolade just basically means a high honor or something like that. When someone gets an accolade, that just basically means they get the highest honor possible. They get an award or something like that. In this case, they're at a medieval fair, and the organizers paid this random guy to just go ahead and knight people for a living. However, I think he takes his job a bit too seriously, because he has, first of all, a backup sword, and then he also has this crown king. He also has a very good accent, and he tries to make this guy care. Next, we have obtuse. Now, obtuse, other than the angle that is greater than 90 degrees, when lines are perpendicular, when lines are at 90 degrees, they're perpendicular. When lines cross each other, they're intersecting like an X. Yeah, that works out. Other than that, we also have the word obtuse, which just basically means they're lacking knowledge and intellect. Things that are pretty stupid, like dense, dull, dumb, Forrest Gump, basically. And you remember this with obtuse. Remember Noah's Ark? Well, Noah gave Rob a literal simple job, but Rob couldn't get the hang of it because of his lack of intelligence. And Rob's only task was to load the boat with animals in pairs. More than once, Noah reminded him, Rob, twos, not threes, not fours. That works. I mean, look, 3 zebras, 3 penguins, and like, but 3's the lucky number. No, 2 is the lucky number. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Next up, we have heinous. Heinous just basically means hateful or abominable. And the synonym to this is evil or nefarious. Dr. Nefario. And then you remember all this with hang us. So some heinous people have actually been found, and they've been tried, and they're going to be hanged. And they're like, well, go ahead, hang us. It's not like we care about life anyway. We did all we can. Also, we hid the money, and only our sons and daughters know where it is. That word you remember with hang us. And next up, we have truculent. Let me check how many words we have left. Alright, we have like 7 more words after this. Truculent. Truculent just basically means you're defiantly aggressive. This is going to be weird. And your sentence is combative. Now, the memory word is the truculent. Hey, remember our vocabulary cards? Well, this is it. Truculent. So you lend your new truck to your friend. Sorry, you lend your truck to your friend, and then, well, he breaks the car. And you, of course, want him to fix it. He, unfortunately, does not have the money to fix it. So, you go ahead and think of the only reparation that you can think of. You become truculent. Next up, we have fickle. Now, fickle just basically means likely to change for no reason, not loyal, stable, or constant. Now, a pregnant woman can't make up her mind about what snack she wants. She's halfway through a pickle when she literally throws it away in disgust, and then she pours herself a bowl of cereal, pours it away and suck, because to her it sucks, and then tries some potato chips. She does not like it. She tries pizza, does not like it. She tries hot dog, she does not like it. What she actually craves for, in my opinion, is raw meat. Our next word is incite. Now, incite just basically means to stir or encourage something up, agitate, excite, those kinds of things. Those are synonyms, by the way. A community organizer literally orders a track record of whipping people up into a frenzy until they riot. And of course, the FA decided to come in and surveillance on him and discover he is literally up to it again. He stands on a college campus agitating and provoking a group of students to take over the campus and occupy it until the school meets their demands. The FBI, Federal Bureau of Intelligence Investigation, keeps him inside at the ready to swoop in and grab him because FBI are no joke. I mean, would you actually be this serious if you realize the highest government's intelligence actually after you? The Federal Bureau of Intelligence is literally after you. Next up, we have tentative. Now, tentative just basically means not definitive or not positive at all, not a fully developed plan. Well, I usually tend to give, but my finances are unstable. I might be able to give something, I'm just not sure, so we're collecting donations, and yeah, like someone asks, we're collecting donations, can you donate? Well, I usually tend to give, but my finances aren't stable. I might be able to give something, I'm just not sure, though. So, is it a yes or no? It's a cross between a yes and a no. So which one is it, ma'am? Give me like an hour to think of it. We'll call you back later. Next up, we have zenith. Now, zenith means the highest point of state, and in this word, you remember with the word tennis. You have a giant beach ball sized tennis ball and you go ahead and decide to bounce it up. You bounce it up just at the right time when the sun hits its zenith and it shatters the sun into a million pieces. Well, bye-bye, solar system. Next up, we have beck. Beck just basically means to give a gesture to use for signal or to summon someone directly. And it's just like motioning someone. That's literally the synonym. And you remember this with Beck as in Glenn Beck, the TV producer and announcer. The Nightly News with Glenn Beck. That's at least what I think of it. I never watched a Glenn Beck episode, so Glenn Beck, a radio and television host, delivers a very funny and entertaining program. However, during a touching monologue, Beck nods to his broadcast partners. Beck's to his broadcast partners, Pat, Stu, and Jerry. This Beck indicates he's about to cry, and one of them needs to bring a box of tissues. Alright, second to last word is inscrutable. Inscrutable means to be unable to understand or make heads or tails of this thing, incapable of being investigated or analyzed, not easily understood at all. And the synonyms to this is enigmatic, impenetrable, inexplicable, and mysterious. So, the professional poker player who masters the inscrutable poker face does not need to hide between the shades or the hoods, because all this is working. Now, memory words here, it's like is tin screwed to the bull, because a tin screw to a bull is literally the best inscrutable thing you can think of while thinking the word inscrutable. A rancher goes on to start his day and discovers a sheet of tin screwed to a bull on both sides. This is completely inscrutable to him, and he walks around the bull several times, not believing what he sees. He scratches his head, not understanding who, how, or why this happened, and then realizes it's horse armor, except it's cow. Last but not least, parity. Parity is a noun that means equal in amount, status, or character. Here the synonyms are agreement, balance, closeness, equivalence, or, of course, par. And the memory word to this is parity. Nice parrot, Mom. Thank you, Mom, for having a tea, this parrot says. And then the parrot mom is like, it's okay. A parrot shares the last of her tea with her. Okay, apparently it's with her husband and wants to share equally. So she constrains as she tries to pour the tea in equal amounts. This parrot tea will be a shared parity. They are both equals. Speaking of which, I think I haven't said thank you to my mom enough. So, thanks to every mom in the world. Say thank you to your mom because they're grateful. All moms work 24/7. Every mom in the world has this job called management of operations, at least according to a YouTube video. They work 24/7. They manage people. They manage tasks. They do a bunch of boring chores. And, well, most of them. And they do a lot of great things for their kids. 24/7, every year, 365 days a week, without break, for free. That's what every mom does. Possibly some dads, if moms are the ones that work. So say thank you to your mom. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, my son.
Bye. Seriously, I wasn't kidding when I said go thank your mom. You never know when it's too late to say it. What are you still doing here? Get out.